How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to the House of Fata Morgana. Last time we met Jacopo, who is great. We got a lot of insight into the history of him and the white-haired girl. Their marriage was arranged. She saw kindness in him at first. I personally disagree. Maybe he wasn't as nasty, but he definitely had this kind of mean streak in him, that's for sure. Had a lot of interesting philosophies. Not sure if I can quite personally be like, yeah, he's got the right idea. No, not at all, actually. But I'm still curious to see about the white-haired girl. I'm mostly concerned because the white-haired girl only has one real friend in this story, and that's the maid Maria. I think that was what she was called, right? Maria. However, it seems like she also has a close relationship with Jacopo, so I'm worried that the white-haired girl is going to effectively be betrayed, and then we'll see what happens. But we'll have to find out. I mean, it's all just smoke and mirrors at this point. Not really sure exactly what to expect, but... And, like, I should have the webcam on this time, because, you know, I'm not stupid. I am, actually. I don't know why I was not... Twice in a week, that's not good. But I think I've got things straightened out now, so we should be all set for this. So, let us continue on with our journey. So... I guess, yeah, we're here with the white-haired girl after the last thing we saw was a revelation that Jacopo and the maid have somewhat a close relationship. How close? We don't know. She knows something about his past at the very least. So maybe they were, like, once in love, like maybe when they were young. Or maybe that was why he was so upset about the arranged marriage. Maybe he actually was in love with her, like his childhood friend, but circumstances forced him to choose a marriage that brought him prestige rather than pursuing his love. Anyway. Ah, they have grown so beautiful. Such a wonderful fragrance. Roses again. The scent of roses is so calming. I wonder why that is. Would it cause any trouble if I picked one? Oh, hello. We haven't seen you yet. Why, hello. Why, hello there. Out on a midnight stroll, are you? Quite the peculiar hobby. Madame? I cannot spend as much time as I would like outside during the day, so I end up coming out at night. I apologize if I startled you. Oh no, not at all. There is a chilling, captivating beauty to the sight of your snow-white skin from standing there in the moonlit garden. Jeez. I would hardly... what are you doing out so late? I saw a figure through the window. On the slight chance it might be a burglar, I thought it my responsibility to make sure they did not break in. It was also the middle of the night when the grocer's servant broke into their safe. News of that spread quite far. I am sure you would have heard about it. Oh, but Jimash, I don't know, I can't say that, was imprisoned some time ago. Dear me, I cannot seem to get my head out of the past. Do you intend to give the white rose to someone? Yes. I was thinking about giving it to my husband. While I expect he has little fondness for such feminine tastes, the scent of flowers has a truly calming effect. He might find it relaxing when he's reprieved from his work. Oh, is that so? You are very kind-hearted. Speaking of white roses, the rose he meant to give you was the same shade of white. Oh, he? Talking about past him, right? Like the original. Like I'm guessing. Oh, what was the name? Oh, it's actually been a while. The brown-haired guy, the Mel. That was it, Mel. But when you touched it, it turned a deep shade of red. Yeah, that was a way back then. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've got the overall plot pretty figured out here. I think we are the white-haired girl. And, like, this is our journey through the recourse of time. There was but a single white rose in the garden, so he was unable to give it to you as he had wished. In its place, he had a decorative rose fashioned for you. What exactly are you referring to? Oh dear, do you not remember? Then am I to assume you have forgotten what happened to the rose accessory as well? he was unable to give that to you either. But that time, because you rejected the gift. I'm not criticizing you for that decision, of course. You had a perfectly good reason for not accepting it. Heartbroken from having lost you, he buried the rose in this garden. Over the years, the rose in the gardens withered away, and in their place grew thick, unsightly nest of weeds. Many, many years later, the accessory is dug up by a beast, and curiously enough, it had not a speck of rust on it. A beast? You do not remember him either? The foreign man who, through his interactions with you, almost regained his humanity? I'm sorry. I have no idea what you speak of. The only gift I've ever received from a man was my Penacus wheel. And furthermore, I've only lived in this mansion for a year. Oh wow, they've only been married a year. While the garden was not thriving as it is now, it was certainly not in ruins when I arrived. Because I had been taking care of it, yes. But for whatever reason, by my hands alone, I was unable to make it into anything quite as splendid as it is now. Once you arrived and began to work on it, however, just look around. You have restored it to its former glory, to the magnificence of the flaxen-haired family time. I promise, I'm not trying to fault you for anything. Now I think about it, it makes sense that you would not remember. Though you are still you, you are different than before. Different, though not in the sense that you are a wholly distinct person. Tell me, is your name M or R-G-A-N-N? No, that's not Morgana. Again. My name is... Yes, but you should already know that. Again? More proof that you are indeed you. Do you know that your current name is pronounced the same as the name of the person you are waiting for? Well, what are you talking about? I have met you many times, and I know of your past, of events that transpired long, long ago. I'm telling you the truth. The first I came to the mansion was just a year ago. Until then, I had never left my country, or even set foot outside my own house. We did not have any servants either. So where, then, are you saying we met? This mansion, of course. But I'm telling the truth. It was a year ago, shortly after my parents fell ill and received an offer for my marriage. I knew something had to be done. I knew it, and I'm telling the truth. If that is what you remember, then I do not doubt you. But I also suspect I know why you seem so flustered. Are there moments in your memory seem hazy, when it seems like important details have fallen through the cracks? You needn't fret. One day, eventually, you shall remember all. One day. Yep, well, pretty much seals the deal right there, doesn't it? Fetch, man, she's lost subtlety. What the heck is this? A white rose. Does she leave this here? A flower. What does she think she's doing? Is she trying to aggravate me? That garden. That darn rose garden is a whole problem. Flowers serve no purpose but to deceive. That garden is a sign of weakness. It has no place in this house. Well, not a completely insane way to react to that at all. Approximately a week had passed since then. The white-haired girl was, as usual, spending her time in her room reading, studying inside the house. Then, Maria barged in. Madame! Madame! Oh my, you're out of breath. What happened? What happened is that we have a big problem. The garden, the rose garden. The garden? All the roses you put so much love and care into growing are being chopped down. We'll lose them all if we don't hurry. Upon hearing the news, the white-haired girl dashed from her room and toward the garden, with Maria following close behind. That is so cruel. When she arrived, she saw a dozen or so sweaty, rugged men at work, Jacopo shouting orders. The men clearly had no concept of how much a single flower was worth, no concern whatsoever for their beauty, for they mercilessly, thoughtlessly hacked away at the shrubs like they were naught but weeds. Each flower they tore from the earth extinguished another of the many lives of the white-haired girl had put so much time and effort into tending for. Jacopo, what are you? Oh, hello, Maria. Didn't expect you would come with her. Why would you do? Why? Why, it goes without saying. This house has no need for a garden. Darn flowers have no place here. Might as well do something worthwhile with the soil. A miniature railroad would be perfect use of the space, and certainly a great deal easier on the eyes. I could even get my hands on some genuine wheels. The same wheels being used in the revolutionary Transcontinental Railroad. 10 or 20 years down the line, they'll be worth a fortune. Jacopo, you know how much this garden meant to me, don't you? Did it honestly have no place here? Flowers have a calming effect on people. They give you peace. They are not by any means worthless. So you're saying the white rose was a passive-aggressive way of you telling me to calm down? No, not at all. I simply thought you... Oh, at the end of the day, you're just using them for your own purposes, to trick and deceive. To you, this rose garden was nothing but... Jacopo! You've gone too far. This isn't right. Gone too far. This is my mansion. What did I do with my property is my business. With the rose arch out of the picture, we'll have that much better a view. There won't be anything blocking the sun any longer. Weren't you supposed to be sensitive to sunlight? Spend too much time out here and you're liable to fall ill. Get back inside now. You too, Maria. Wow, what a scumbag. The poor thing, though she did not say a word, was surely thinking, are you truly that determined to rob me of my sanctuary? The words twirled around in her head, unable to make the final journey to her lips. She stood there, looking down at her own feet as her husband marched off, and listened to the screams of the roses being reaped. After being torn down by Jacopo, the garden reverted to a state of ruined desolation. A shame, after all the work we went into restoring it to its beauty, yet under the flaxen-haired family. And as Jacopo had said, in its place were scraps of metal, train wheels, prototype models, carbon rods. These items may have had value for him, but I certainly do not think it was worth robbing his wife of a place that made her feel comfortable just so he could store them there. Besides, I was rather fond of the rose garden myself. The roses seemed to evoke a sense of nostalgia in me. I felt as though, somewhere far beyond the edge of my memories, I had seen another garden of roses, modest though it may have been, but I cannot remember when it was. Does that come as a surprise to you? I am quite sure that there are periods of the mansion's history of which I am not aware. But in any case, Jacopo had caused many people great pain in order to repurpose that garden for himself, and he continued to walk all over his wife. Whenever she tried to do something kind for him, he would brush her off, saying, "That's not your place." He paid no mind whatsoever to the looks of dejection that rose to her face each time he rejected her. I was beginning to wonder if anything she had said about the man he had been years earlier was actually true. And if it was true, could a person really go through such a drastic change of heart in such a short time? What do you think, Master? No, I have spoken enough about me already. I seem to be talking a lot about myself this time, but that is hardly appropriate behavior for a maid. Now let us return to our tale. That evening, the white-haired girl sat in her room, staring sorrowfully at her Finacus wheel. Finacus wheel. Why am I saying Finacus? I'm stupid. Finacus wheel. A small mirror before her. She tried spinning the paper disc, but it was just not the same as before. Her husband was not there at her side, and even more critically, there was not a smile on her face. And then she heard a faint knock on the door. Who is it? It's me, madam. It's me. May I come in? Oh, Maria. Of course, come in. What are you doing here at such a time of night? I was just wondering how you were doing. Should I have left you alone? Oh, it's no trouble at all. I am always glad to have you. You're making me blush, madam. I got the feeling you were a little down in the dumps. So I'm not here because I need to be. I just kinda ended up here, I guess. Maria. Sorry, I am not making any sense. I can be a bit of a busybody, you know? Trouble with boundaries, I guess. Never been able to fix that. No, I don't consider you intrusive at all. I cannot count how many times your bright smile and cheerful energy have shone a light on me when things were dark. If I didn't have you, I would have given up already. You seem to see right through me. Even now, you're exactly right. I'm feeling a little dispirited. That garden was even a bigger life raft than I thought. Perhaps I'm being overly dramatic, but the roses were all like those children to me. I get it. I do. You put your heart and soul in tending that garden. It was obvious how much you loved them. Of course, I'm not gonna... It's gonna hurt watching a bunch of men stomp all over your flowers when you cared for them like your own children. Now, I know I said this once already, but you don't need to force yourself to put up with him, really. You don't have to bend to his will just because you're a woman. You can survive without him. Anytime you want to walk away, that's your choice. I mean, I'd sure be lonely if you left, ma'am. But your happiness is more important than any of that. So, you know? Thank you, Maria. I truly do appreciate it. But I would like to wait for the day I can see his warm smile once more. If you say so. Well, in that case, I better have been there to back you up. I'll be all right. You leave everything to this holy virgin. I'll have the stupid grin on my face. No matter how down you're feeling. You really are a reincarnation of the Mother of God, aren't you? Oh, you! I told you, it's just a joke. Yeah, whatever. So hey, ma'am, how about a dance? A dance at this time of night? Yep. And since it's so late, no loud music. All you get is a little whistling, courtesy of me. But this room is too small for... Well, let's use the Great Hall. Wouldn't that put us in everyone else's way? He would probably be complaining about the noise, too. No need to worry. Jacopo's out inspecting some factory or something today. After that, he's got a meeting, so he'll be staying the night elsewhere. The rest of the maids are in their rooms chatting away. No one will notice. Where I come from, we dance all the time. We take, eat, drink, and be merry to heart. No food or drinks for us, but we absolutely can dance. Dancing's a great way to forget all your cares. I am not much of a dancer. No big deal, nobody's watching. Come on, put a little fancy perfume and let's have some fun. I don't have any perfume, though. Didn't think so. You've got all right ingredients, madam, but you don't try to make anything special out of them. You've got so much potential, not even a decent-sized wardrobe. At the very least, you should be wearing some perfume. Which is why, ta-da! I brought some with me. The maids are in love with this stuff. It's a big hit with the women all over the country. The base is vanilla, and it's got several other fragrances mixed in. Give it a try. It smells divine. But Maria, Come on, what's the harm? Just a little splash on your wrist like so. Well, what do you think? You were right. It smells wonderful. Doesn't it? So do you like it? Yes, very much so. Excellent. Now off we go to the Great Hall. Are we really going to dance? You bet your butt we are. It's not healthy to hold you up in the room all day. I know you can't handle a lot of sunlight, but you still gotta have some fun moving your body. Come on, let's go. Oh, Maria. Though she looked outwardly uncertain as Maria led her forward, her hand around her wrist, the white-haired girl seemed to be enjoying herself on the inside. Having spent her life without a single friend, she never dreamed the day would come when she would find herself being dragged through the empty halls of a dark mansion by another woman. Maria's presence seemed to shine upon the quiet corridor. It would have been a very lonely trek without her. Maria spun around, giving an impish smirk, and raised her pointer finger to her lips with a soft shh. The sight of it caused the white-haired girl to chuckle quietly. The two of them, on their way to their secret private ball, were like two adolescent girls. In short order, they arrived at the great hall. My heart was pounding all the way here. What is there to be nervous about? It's not like you're breaking any rules. Only kids get in trouble for staying up late. Once you've grown up, you're responsible for yourself. I will say, though, it does seem rather odd for two women to dance together. Oh, you having a good time? What does it matter between your legs? What's between your legs? Where I come from, there's dances where families lock arms and a big ring go round in circles. So, who said two girls can't have some fun together? I imagine you had many good moments with your family. Well, I don't have a family anymore. What? Alright, I'll show you how it's done. Watch carefully, because you're up next. Okay. With a wide grin on her face, Maria began whistling softly and prancing around the floor with an energetic rhythm. It was not the kind of complicated dance you'd see at a fancy parties. Its motions were simple, flowing, unembellished. A folk dance, I suppose you might call it. She seemed to be improvising a little bit as well. But in any event, the white-haired girl was captivated. Despite it being a sequence of steps anyone could replicate, Maria breathed life into the dance. She was neither as lithe an acrobat nor as light on her feet as a professional dancer. She was her own lively, beautiful self. Maria twirled in place, the skirt of her maid uniform billowing gently up around her. With a smile, she extended her hand toward the white-haired girl. She hesitated for a moment, but as if being pulled forward by some invisible force, she took Maria's hand. Hand in hand, Maria ushered the white-haired girl onto her dance. It was just the two of them, but you could almost see the crowd forming around them. The other people stepping up to join in. That's it, ma'am. You're doing great. Now lift up your leg, good, and spin like so. This is not easy, Maria. I'm having trouble following along. You can do it. Looking good so far. You're a natural, madam. Oh, Maria. I won't fall for your flattery. I mean it. The whisper of the two girls. Their muffled laughs. Step, hop, step, step. The rustling of fabric. Many different soft sounds layered atop one another, creating a little bubble of happiness in the center of the hall. The white-haired girl's movements were a great deal clumsier than Maria's, but Maria would never disparage her for that. On the contrary, she showered her with praise. As flustered as the white-haired girl appeared, I imagined she was quite pleased. Before long, the tightness of her face muscles loosened, a smile spread across her lips, and she began to brighten up. See, what I tell ya? Fun, huh? Yes, I'm quite surprised, both that I can't dance and that I enjoy doing it so much. Glad to hear it. They exchanged looks and both laughed. That might have been the first time I've ever seen a white-haired girl so delighted. However, because of her infirmary, she quickly found herself out of breath. Her person's skin flushed red. Maria immediately stopped for a break. She could surely have continued dancing for some time yet, but Maria was conscious of the white-haired girl's physical condition. She looked over at Maria regretfully. My apologies. If only I had more stamina. I am hardly a suitable partner for you, Maria. Sure you are. That's all to cheer you up, ma'am. As long as you're having fun, nothing else matters. And heck, I'm enjoying myself plenty too. What do you think? Wouldn't it be nice to do this again sometime? Whenever you're feeling down, let's dance. If you really do enjoy dancing with a frail girl like me, then I would be glad to. Have a little more confidence in yourself, ma'am. You're so pretty and kind-hearted. I have loads of fun when I'm with you. So you don't need to be going so hard on yourself. Got it? Thank you. The pleasure is mine. 'Tis an absolute honor to have a rare opportunity to see such a bright smile on your face, madame. My apologies for keeping you out so late. I should get back to my room. Oh, I didn't even realize what time it is. I'm more up for a little more gum flapping. You have improved my mood more than adequately. I would not want you to be tired for work tomorrow. Oh, okay. Well, then, let's get out of here. Yes, let's. Smiles on both their faces, they made to exit the great hall. However, before they reached the door, it swung open. A man towering its shadow cast the two women into darkness, his cold, bitter glare fixed on them. Uh-oh. If I'd had even the faintest premonition this might happen, I would have done anything in my power to stop those two cheery girls on their way to the hall. But I am eternally powerless. What are you doing? Standing before them in the doorway was the master of the house, Jacopo. Ah! I thought you would not be back until tomorrow. And how would you know that? No, forget that. Doesn't my staying the night elsewhere have any effect on you? You were just waiting for this opportunity, weren't you? No. Why would I possibly want you out of the house for? I'm sure you know better than anyone. What? What's that smell? Perfume? When did you get perfume? I have to say, you seem to be having quite the time. Look at you. You're out of breath, red as a beet. I made the right decision coming back. What the heck were you going? No, I wasn't going. Jacopo, calm down. Seriously. You shut it. Now you're taking this tramp's side. I have told you before, you are not to leave this house without first consulting me. Or do you mean to tell me you've forgotten? Your ears aren't just for show, all right? They're better than that. They'll even throw out parts if you don't want to hear. No, I swear, I was not doing anything new. Silence. I have no interest in your excuses. You're always watching from the shadows, observing, trying not to step on anyone's toes. In the back of your mind, you're mocking me. No, Listen up and listen good. You just try stepping out of line again. You just try disgracing me again. You will not get away with it. For the love of God. Get back to your room now. You too, Maria. Alright. God, what is this sickeningly sweet smell? How utterly infuriating. I'll take forever to get this off me. I always thought you had at least some sense of taste. Dang. He really is just taking turns into the, like, I'm not... Like, he went from, like, I'm just kind of a jerk to, like, I'm literally just an a-hole. Why did he have to disparage her so? What did she do wrong? What did she do to deserve that? She did nothing whatsoever wrong. She deserved none of the ridicule he showered her with. However, she was not a strong-willed woman. She did not have the courage to retort to the man yelling at her. And neither did Maria, it seemed. Without another word, they both scrambled out of the great hall, away from Jacopo. The white-haired girl was a painfully miserable sight to behold. The cheer had drained from her spirit, and the rose hue from her now pale cheeks. She was hunched forward slightly, looking like a small, scared animal. Say, I'm sorry. This is all my fault. If I hadn't asked you to dance, and me bringing the perfume only made things worse. No, you need not feel bad about anything, Maria. Everything you did was within my best interests at heart. So, don't worry. I will be fine. So, Madame, I'll clear everything up. I really am to blame after all. He wouldn't even give you the time of day if you tried. He's a stubborn little crap when he's mad. I'll talk to him. He'll be more likely to listen to me. I'll make sure he knows that he's jumping to conclusions, and I'm the one who dragged you down there to dance. And also that I forced you to wear the perfume. I'll clear everything up, okay? So please, you cheer up. It would be best if I could tell him myself. But yes, you are right. He would likely not listen to me. He rarely ever listens to me. I should be ashamed. No, you should not. I cannot even hold a simple conversation with my own husband. It's not your fault. These things happen, you know? It's not easy being married, in a lot of ways. Yes, you're right. I apologize for having you do something so unpleasant, but I would appreciate that. Oh, no problem. I am happy to. No need to apologize. I've got this. I'll dunk his head in cold water until he's not blowing steam from his ears anymore. I'll cool him down, I promise. And you never know, maybe he'll be open to listening. You could be back to the way you were a year ago in no time. Don't you worry. I'll take care of it, madam. Be positive. You look so much better with a smile on your face. All right. Thank you. I doubted Jacopo would listen, even coming from Maria, and I imagine the white-haired girl felt very much the same way. However, she grabbed onto that sliver of hope. Great. She let herself dream. She let herself believe, even just faintly, that everything would go well. Such is human nature. When uncertainty has you in its clutches, you grasp at whatever hope you can find to keep yourself afloat. That night, she did not sleep. She was afraid that even in her dreams, Jacopo would be shouting at her. She felt as though her memories of a year prior were beginning to crumble away. This one's just depressing. Like, all of them have their, like, depression sides to it, but at least, like, with Mel, things were kind of, like, bubbly and hopeful, and even with the Beast, it was more, like, intense. This one's just being dragged across the ground, scooping dirt into your face. The next morning, Jacopo stood alone in the den by the billiards table. He appeared to be rather agitated. His face was twisted into a frown, his pointer finger tapping restlessly against the hard surface of the table. Evidently no longer able to stay in one place, he paced a circle around the table, and swiped up a rack and a cue and set up for a game of 9-ball. I'm not intimately familiar with the ways by which men entertain themselves, but in truth, I was bewitched by the sight of him leaning over the table. It almost seemed as though a steel rod ran straight from his shoulder to the tip of his outstretched finger, upon which the cue was secured by another finger looped over it. With a smooth flowing motion, he thrust the cue forward slightly, pulling it back and repeating the process once more, before ramming it into the cue ball, sending it rolling into the diamond of colored balls. A chorus of clicks and clacks emanated from the center of the room. Balls collided with one another and ricocheted off the cushioned walls, a few landing in the pockets situated around the end of the table. Jacopo appeared to have accomplished this with little trouble, but I imagine merely striking the cue ball with a stick would be rather difficult for someone inexperienced. But despite his accomplishment, it seemed only to exasperate his agitation. Loudly pointing, he muttered, as he hadn't the faintest idea what he was talking about. Oh, positioning. What should have been a game for his enjoyment, he went about with a constant look of exasperation. I suspect he was using it in a way to blow off steam, and as a result the tension in the air was palpable. I felt as though it would be improper to intrude upon him, even considering my distaste for the man. There was an undeniable beauty in every motion he made, every perfectly audible clack of the billiard balls bouncing off one another. It was an enchanting sight. But then, someone without the slightest regard or appropriate appreciation for beauty came marching in with a hammer to shatter it like glass. Gotta say, that was pretty impressive. Huh. A man leaned up against the frame of his door. Oh, so that dude. He was neither a resident nor the worker of the mansion. The man's face was covered in scraggly stubble, his body draped in grime-caked garments. His eyes were sunken so deep it was as though he was looking into a fleshless skull, though there was a feral glimmer in them. Needless to say, he was not prim and proper. How long have you been there? Not long, but man, I can't help laughing. Tommaso, you were completely in your own world there. What do you want? And why didn't you send a maid for me? Don't be such a hard. We're eight strangers, man. Why should family have to go through the maids to see you? That just ain't right, brother. Your door should always be open for family. Enough. I'm not your family. We're bound by something even stronger than blood. By our family. Our Cosca. I think it's the Mafia. Don't. You don't ever bring up the Cosca when it's in your interests. Ooh, scary. Come on now. What happened to you, little Jack? Where'd the little boy who used to call me Uncle Tommy go? Don't you dare use that forsaken name. the heck out of my sight. What on earth are you doing here? The man hailed from the same country as Jacopo. They had a peculiar relationship, though they were not blood-related. He referred to Jacopo as family. They came from a sunny island in the Mediterranean Sea, a place with many unique customs and an entire underground society. Koska was a word for the originated from and referred to these underworld families. It would be another 30 or so years before organizations like theirs received much public attention. At the time, they were not widely known. Just a short step into the future, they would grow so powerful, the very mention of them would send a chill through the room. And now, there's no way to talk to a fellow Berzati. You're on the short list of becoming the next Capo Famiglan. Capo Famiglan. We respect our brothers. That's how we operate. I could go home, say you threw me out of your house. How would you like those rumors to spread? The soon-to-be Capo Famiglia wouldn't even listen to a little request. I very much doubt anything you said could damage my reputation. I ain't been exiled yet. As long as I'm one of them, they won't ignore me. Ooh, that's some mighty fine-looking whiskey you got there. Don't mind if I do. Nothing here is for you to drink. Booze is my lifeblood, man. No love for a brother? You worthless leech. It surely won't be long before you find yourself in exile. If you're lucky enough to get off the hook with just exile, that is. A child could snap that scrawny neck of yours. If I'm gonna go, I'd rather go tied up, tortured for days, covered in tiny little cuts from head to toe. You sick. You disgust me. Call me a carnal adventurer. I despise the mundane. Last thing I want to do is go out like a wet fart. Is this what you came for? To waste my time with your insipid nonsense? Oh, hardly. Surely you have an idea of what I'm here for, and how much I need. You maggot. A worthless leech is a sick. A maggot. What other names you've got up your sleeve for me? You son of a... You honestly think this is how you ask for a favor? Whoops, excuse me. I beg of thee, oh esteemed future Capo Familia. I bone broke, not even enough money to put bread on the table. Could you spare a little for a brother? You brought this on yourself, I'm sure. I hear more than enough of stories about you, hardly any of them pleasant. Drinking, gambling, debauchery. I'm humiliated to be in the same Koska as you. You want to make playing? You gotta learn the game first. Says the worm who's played himself into oblivion. Now, do you honestly believe I'll give you anything? Oh, but you will. You've got no choice. Costco rules. You're required to help a fellow countryman. Especially considering how few of us there are stranded on this colossal landmass. You won't even notice the money's missing. It ain't because you can't, but because you don't wanna. But Jacopo, being a tidy, does nothing for you. Me coming to you for help just keeps your good name clean. That's the thing about being boss. You're quietly keep little craps like me out of trouble. So that trouble doesn't come running back on you. You do not seem to understand your place. Rather than lecturing me, you should be on your hands and knees, begging and crying for my help. If that's what you want, I'll gladly comply. Happy to kiss your boots while I'm at it. Don't even think about it. Know this. There won't be a second time. I will be reporting your conduct to the family back home. I look forward to seeing how they deal with you. Just try and have a little mercy, would ya? Hey, is there a maid around? Doesn't matter who. How may I serve you, master? Get a single stack from the safe. Here's the key. It goes without saying, but don't touch anything else. Give the money to that man, as you're escorting him out the door. As you wish. Is that all you needed? Yes, now get to it. Very well. Excuse me. Well. That's one looker of a maid you've got there. But there's something, I don't know, eerie, strange about her. Fancy that. We agree on something. How long has she been working here? Couldn't tell you. As I recall, she came with the house. It's that kind of woman you fancy. Is that the kind of woman you fancy? A gal you can't read will always be interesting. Is that so? Now that he mentions it, how old is that woman? Though I suppose it doesn't matter much. Oh yeah, Jacopo. One other thing I wanted to talk to you about. What is it this time? And if it's more for your blather, I'll shoot you dead where you stand. Now, no need for threats. This one's about your, better half. What about my wife? Well, to put it simply, yeah. She came to me asking for advice, looking a little distressed. My wife asked you for advice? Yep. From the sounds of it, you're pretty rough on the little lady. That just ain't right, man. You managed to snag yourself a broad that pretty, you ought to treat her at least a little better, you hear? She looks good with a smile. You gotta make her show it for you every once in a while. Why would she come to you about that? Don't ask me. Maybe she ain't got no one else to talk to. And you know, for whatever it's worth, I'm probably the same Koska. Guessing she thought I'd get through to you easier. Really? You just have to put a little more thought into how you act around her. She'll be smiling for you like always. Oh yeah, just got one. I've got just one. Just the thing. Women love this stuff. I'm sure she'll be thrilled. Is that perfume? Haven't you heard? Everyone's talking about it. I'm a big fan of the stuff too. It smells great. Pretty girls smile when you're wearing some of this, and any man would be in love in an instant. You've never given her nothing fashionable before, have you? May look like the scented water. You can't let that fool you. Go on, give it to her. You like a nice smelling lady too, don't you? A little bit of scent can give you a different flavor for your nighttime excitement. Vanilla. Well, I've said my piece, so I'll be taking my leave. Don't want to keep your maid waiting too long to get her on her bad side. That's weird. I really don't see the white-haired girl actually talking to him. That's really strange. Could have been Maria, possibly? Like, at least telling him to pretend that she was asking for help? Hold on, Tommaso. Why would she... Make it last. That's all the advice your Uncle Tommy has for you. Ciao. Wait, Tommaso. I could go after him. It'd be a simple task to catch him and grab him by the neck and make him tell me. Tell me where he spoke with her and what she told him. But why? Why will my legs not move? Asking him for advice? Fashionable perfume? Her smile? She looks good with a smile. She'll be smiling for you like always. That can't be. She hardly ever smiles around me. But she'll smile for him? Last night, when she was short of breath, having such a grand time wearing that perfume. Oh no! Oh no. Getting ready to leave the house? Just who was that smile for? Gosh darn it. Don't you think I'll let you run free any longer? Well, that was unfortunate. Fetch! His eyebrows were furrowed, creating deep creases on his forehead. Several servants stood off to the side, watching their master attentively as he stomped past them down the corridor. However, no one said a word to him. Had I not been preoccupied attending to his countrymen, I likely could have prevented it. The look on his face would have made it obvious something bad was about to happen. Something that would serve only to further her misfortune. She was already in a less than ideal situation, and it was perched on the edge of a hill, soon to begin rolling down into an even worse territory. Oh no. Jacopo? What's the matter? If you wanted to visit, you could have said something, rather than coming in without knocking. Is that really necessary? Pardon? Is there something you so desperately want to keep from me that you must knock before entering? That I should have to let you know in advance that I'm coming? What do you... Well, is there? You want to talk to him behind my back, I'm told. What did you tell him? You moaned to him about my behavior? I don't like this. That hurts. You told him I'm rough with you, cried on his shoulder because I'm not nice enough. Him, of all people. Oh wait, Jacopo, you're mistaken, let me... Silence, not a word, not a single forsaken word. The only thing that comes out of your mouth is excuses. Lies and fabrication. You put on the sweet, innocent little girl act, but what's really going through your head? Maybe I should just rip that mask off your face. Stop, Jacopo. You look down on me, your nobility, and I'm just a nobody who married into it. No, stop, let me go, please. When did it start? How long have you been seeing him? Who else have you been seeing? Covering yourself in fashionable perfumes and smiling, even though you never smile around me? Please, let me go. I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your eyes. He's just a worthless commoner. Why? Why would you think that? Why will you not listen to me? Silence. It's all your fault, every last thing. I'll tell you not to leave the house, but you do. I tell you to do as I say, but you ignore me. Every last thing you do drives me mad. I don't have time right now to deal with this. You wreck my mind over you, over a woman. I don't have time for it. Why do you not do as I say? Do you not have enough already? Huh? Will you not be satisfied until you've taken my arms and legs? I've given you money, clothing, everything. You have an incredible life. Look around you. It's a life of luxury your parents wanted. Right here, you have it. What more could you possibly want? Why do you insist on being unfaithful? Unfaithful? You think that's what I'm doing is unfaithful to you? How else do I describe it? It's like tilting. It's kind of, oh, it's making my stomach turn. You leave the room despite my ordering you not to. Don't think I don't know. When you came to the den the other day, you had your eyes on the other men. No, I didn't. I had no such inclination. Enough, not another word from you. I have no interest in your excuses. If that's how you're gonna act, then say goodbye to your freedom. You're forbidden from leaving the mansion, or your room for that matter, or even speaking to the servants. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll make you a new room. Too many people come in and out of this one. It'll be somewhere quieter, out of the way. You like the garden? How about I put it there? If you leave that room without my permission, this time, I'll kill you. Why? Why will you not listen to me? Jacopo, the master of the house, likely loved the white-haired girl. That is what I saw in their exchange. Normally, love is supposed to be sweet, warm, wonderful emotion. It makes you care for, value the person even more than yourself. But it was the exact opposite for him. I never knew that love could be such a painful thing. How did his love end up so twisted? What did he expect to happen by confining and abusing the woman he loved? Perhaps he was conscious of that. To be human is to sometimes find oneself driven by uncontrollable internal impulses. A few days later, Jacopo dragged the white-haired girl from her chamber and led her outside. The garden she had once loved was now a thing of the past. It had become a dreary space. Nary a rose in sight, and being taken there did nothing to improve her mood, only saddened her further. The cold, gray piles of metal freckled the barren earth seemed to mock her. Her husband led her, the lady of the house, to a shed that had been repurposed to a Spartan living area. She begged and pleaded, but Jacopo would not have it. He shoved her into the sad little shack and locked the door. Fetch, man, this is getting dark quick. Jeez, and the crazy thing is this stuff actually kind of happens. Like, can you believe that? Like, there's like those stories about like parents that like literally lock their kids up at home. Like, can you imagine? It boggles my mind that people can actually do that to other people. Well, and on that depressing note, I guess we're gonna end it here. Good freaking grief! What a freak! He's a freak. That's the only word for it, man. All right, I have to admit, I kind of want this one to end now because I just like this is just horrible. It's so terrible that anybody could do this to any other human, out of jealousy, out of spite. It's so terrible, but it happens, and I think that's one of the reasons why we really should be reading stories like this. Not because it fills us with inspiring thoughts, but because it helps us realize that there are actually people who behave like this. These are real types of emotions, as illogical as they are. There are people who actually feel these things. That's terrifying. I certainly hope if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're being controlled and manipulated by someone who you love and who loves you, you really need to re-examine this. If it's filled with abuse, or verbal, physical, or any kind, like, it's not worth it. It's not easy though, because like just hearing that's not going to make much of a difference, I know. But I beg you, if you are in a situation where you're facing any kind of abuse or having anything forced upon you, like being forced to stay at home, forced to only do certain things, like that's just not the way things should be. And I know there's no easy solutions, but know that there are better ways out there, that there are people who can care and help, and that you're not alone. A lot of people who try and control others often try and isolate them. Like he was isolating her before, like keeping her in her room, not letting her leave. He might have used her condition and like sensitivity to the sunlight as like an excuse, but he was ultimately abusing and controlling her before. Now it's just upped to the nth degree. And so, I don't know. Like I said, this is hopefully not very relatable to many of us, but if it is in any way relatable to you, I sincerely hope you can find a way out. There often is, and you'll find that there are people who can support and are willing to help you if things are really bad. And even if they're kind of bad, do what you can, because sometimes people aren't going to change. Like, you can't count on people being changed, or that you'll fix them, or that they'll be better when you get married, or that when you have a kid. Those complicate things. They don't make it easier. But anyway, I don't know. I feel like if you need the help, please reach out to it. Family is a good place to start. But I don't know. Hopefully this is not the case, and hopefully we can learn from this things that we can avoid. Because even most of us, like, while most of us wouldn't sink to this level, we can often find there's dark tendencies in all of us. I don't care what it is, like, that everybody has the darkness that they fight inside. And being aware of what yours is, and being able to admit that it's darkness is a big important step. So if you can, analyze yourself. Think about, like, what are their weaknesses? What happens when you get angry? Or what are the behaviors you do that you kind of, like, almost hate yourself for? Because we all have them. And, like, think about it, and maybe it's a time for something to be done about it. But regardless, thank you so much for joining me today. Sorry for the heavy topic, but I mean, this is pretty heavy stuff. And I don't think it should be avoided just because it's a sensitive subject. I think if anything, it needs to be talked about more because it's a sensitive subject. But anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you have anything you want to add to my spiel, or something you want to correct, something I've said that maybe's been misspoken. I'm definitely not perfect, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on this matter. But hopefully we can find a resolution with the white-haired girl. I hope, I know it won't really end that well, but I'm hoping it will end in a better than the last one did. It's gonna be terrible. We all know this. It's a tragedy, so of course it's gonna be terrible. But we'll find a way, and we'll see how things go. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me. And until the next video you're watching me, or have to see me in next. I'll see you there.